Welcome back to Talking Shop. I'm Rachel Evans from the Workshop Whisperer, and this is Mr. Dean Evans, also from the Workshop Whisperer. We're out and about on a walk by the beach this morning, and we're going to be talking about how to hire out of a hole. Dean.
We see this time and time again with people that we'll talk to that are a bit challenged with busyness inside their auto repair shop. Jobs start to take a bit longer to push out. Means cars start to back up. In the parking spaces. Team gets under all kinds of pressure, and we get told all the time, if I could just hire another technician, then everything would be okay. And the problem with that is that while in some cases it might be, something to consider, in most cases they're trying to hire their way out of a hole, and it's the wrong hole to be looking to fill to start with, because in terms of efficiencies inside the workshop, and not only that, just the financial reality is that bringing in a new tech when you're overbooked, overcommitted, you've got to fork out 100% of that technician's wage, but it's unlikely, given the state of the business, that you're actually going to recoup, the full return on that salary investment. So what we say instead is that you've actually got to look inside the workshop to begin with. And before you think about bringing in a new tech, there's a few other smaller little holes that you can be making sure are working the way that they should be. So the most obvious one is labour rate. If you're not inside benchmark figures for labour rate, if you're undercharging for your team's hours, then bringing in a new tech isn't going to improve your financial position. Second is your margins and your markups. If you're not putting the right margins, the right markups on all your parts, all your products, all your services, then you're simply not going to get your full bang for your buck on any job that any number of technicians do for any particular day. Second then is your average repair order. If you're jammed full of jobs, if your team are literally redlining to get everything out on time, then you're not taking the opportunity to recommend additional work to your customers. You're not getting your upsells, your cross-sells, your resells, and doing work, or rather being able to generate a higher repair order on the jobs that you're doing right now, instead of just rushing through. The other side to that as well is that if your team are really, really hectic, then usually because of the rate of work, the quality goes down. So you're getting more callbacks. There's more time that you got to wipe off, and you're actually cutting your nose to spite your face. And the most important part is, if your business is not producing the kind of GP net profit levels that it should be now, then bringing in another technician to do more work is the same as trying to turn on the tap and pour more water into a bucket that's got real big holes in it. Doesn't matter how much work you do or how many hands you've got doing the work, the end result's going to be the same. You're not going to have very much left in the bucket at the end of the day. So our recommendation is always that, sure, there might be a case down the track to bring in another technician, get another set of hands, but first of all, let's look inside your business and see what opportunities there are to find and fix where money's leaking out before you bring another technician in, and also to have some systems in place so that when you do find that tech, the reality being they're in short supply, that you're not going to be taking up more of your precious time having to train them on the way things get done, or have them hope to work out all the systems that you've got inside your own head.
And I think really what it comes down to is that it's the right time to hire another tech when you have more work to charge out than you do hours in the week to charge it. So You don't ever have to guess if you need a new technician. The numbers will tell you if you are monitoring the numbers. So if you've got less than, or between 10 to 15% only in written off hours per week, that's the only time you need to consider hiring another technician. So you know it's time when your effective labour rate is equal to or getting better than your advertised rate. And then, even if that number is showing up, you must go through all of the things that Dean has just mentioned to make sure that you're maximising that labour being charged out financially. So the GP, which means the margins, making sure you're hitting your labour GP even if you're selling the hours. So it's never a guess, I think, is the important thing. And those auto repair shop owners who know their productivity and who know their benchmarks don't have to guess when the right time to hire is. The numbers tell them.
And I think the uncomfortable truth, if you've listened this far, is that what we actually see more often than not is that when an auto repair shop owner scales down their team, so they actually work with less technicians, the business becomes healthier financially, stronger culturally, because you've got less of the right people doing more of the right things, and you're not carrying as many of the unproductive salaries as you would when you think your first move, when you get busy or you feel a bit overbooked, is to go hunting around for another pair of hands to try and fill this hole inside your business.
Yeah. So to wrap up, we do often get asked how much revenue can be generated by how many techs, and there is a number. So we know that a solidly profitable auto repair shop with 2 fully qualified technicians and 2 apprentices should be able to generate $1.2 million a year in revenue. That's top line revenue. So that's a gauge for you. And that wraps us up on when you think you need to hire out of a hole. And we'll see you next time.